Thank you, Savage Joy. And thank you to everyone who's here today. So this morning I was trying to figure out which of my Medicare for All t-shirts to wear, and then I decided the best t-shirt to wear was Greed Kills, because that's what we're really talking about. Our healthcare system is based on greed, not health. It has nothing to do with health. It would be a completely different system if it was actually based on health. And that greed, that corporate greed, the pharmaceutical, the hospital, the health insurance, the for-profit healthcare centers, all of that is based on money, and it's killing us. And so that's why we fight. That's why we're here. If there was ever a time in the history of the United States when we should be seeing a strong push in Congress to pass National Improved Medicare for All, it would be right now. We have a healthcare crisis. Hundreds of thousands of people are dying. We have an economic crisis. People can't afford to get the care they need. We just got the numbers from last year about the number of excess deaths. The highest number we've seen in a very long time. And life expectancy fell last year by a year and a half in one of the wealthiest countries in the world. So that's why we're fighting, because we could have National Improved Medicare for All right now. We'd save money. It's not an issue of money. We have a national Medicare system. Every health professional has a number in that system. It would be very easy to transition. We could do it very quickly. There's nothing holding us back except, as someone said earlier, the money in politics, the money that controls public policy. And so that's why you and us being here today, our presence here today, is so critical, because the only way that we're going to win this is if we fight for it. I was part of the process back in 2009, 2010, when they were doing healthcare reform and we were trying to push for a National Improved Medicare for All. Back then we called it mostly single payer. And we were pushing in Congress, and I was in Congress almost every day. And I saw up close the dysfunction of our system, like whose voices were heard in Congress, who was actually writing the policy. We tried to get health professional experts into the hearings, and we were arrested for doing that. Like, if you're having a hearing on healthcare policy, wouldn't you want to hear from the people who actually understand healthcare policy? Yeah. But no, that's not what it was about. So I learned 3 really important lessons from that experience. And the initials, to make it easy, are ICU. So think about, we're in a healthcare crisis, and we need the ICU. And the first one is that our politics have to be independent. We cannot tie our agenda to a political party, because as we saw in 2009 and 2010, as the legislation got worse and worse, hold on, sweetie. All the politicians were like, well, we have to pass this because it's a matter of our party, it's a matter of our president's legacy, even though they knew that this policy that they passed was only going to enrich the corporations. It was not going to solve our healthcare crisis. So we have to be independent. We have to be really clear about what we're asking for. Because back then they used this thing called a public option to divide the movement for universal health care. They told people, this is what you can get. And this is going to be a backdoor. This is going to help us get to a Medicare for All. Well, we knew, and we were saying, it's neither of those. It's not a solution. It's not any movement towards a National Improved Medicare for All. But they used it to divide and weaken the movement, and it worked. So we have to be clear about what we're talking about. And then finally, we have to be uncompromising. They're going to tell us we're asking for too much. They're always going to tell us we're asking for too much. And we have to say, no, we're asking for what we need. I think of the Gandhi quote that says you can't compromise on fundamentals because it's all give and no take. When it comes to healthcare, our bottom line, our starting line, is that every single person living in the United States has access to comprehensive, high-quality health care with no cost up front. So ICU, we have to remember that in our movement. And unfortunately, what we're seeing in the bigger picture, I've been doing this for a long time, is that major organizations are not here with us today. They are not standing firm for National Improved Medicare for All. They're giving cover to the Democrats to not do what they're supposed to be doing. So we have to call them out and continue to organize around them, because our numbers are bigger. We are bigger. I just want to leave you with these thoughts because in Congress, some of our so-called progressive leaders are talking about, well, we're going to expand the benefits of Medicare, or we're going to lower the age of Medicare. None of that changes the system. None of that gives us what we want and what we need. It will appease a few people. It may even make them drop out of the movement if they've got Medicare now. Some of our strongest fighters are in their 50s, 60s, and older. But that's the intention, is to distract us and divide us and weaken us. And so we have to remain clear and focused and independent and uncompromising because we are going to win. This healthcare system can't continue the way that it is. Thank you very much for being here. Wow.
And I just want to state this as a fact. As I said, we have 56 cities across the country, and let me make it known, not a single elected rep is speaking at a single march. Not a single one. And believe me, we have tried. This isn't us not reaching out. This is us DMing, emailing, calling, you name it. So they have chosen not to come. We are right up the damn street. Don't tell me you can't come. So there's a reason. There's a reason they're not here. And why they're not here, we can't count on them. We want to, we can't. So it is up to we the people, no doubt.